Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Hello.
How are you today?
Well, trying to show some very interesting games from Garry from Kasparov.
From Gary.
Yeah,
Okay, so here is against
he's playing
Geller.
against Geller. Yeah, Geller was, of course, a very strong Soviet grandmaster. He was probably one of the few, if not the only one, who had finally a very good score against Bobby himself. Well, it was a little bit surprising, but he was a very
Like a
strong player.
like a positive score or
Positive. I think it's 4-3 or 3-2 for Geller.
for Geller?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he was able to win against Bobby when Bobby was very young. But anyway, it's very good.
a score is a score.
Yeah, of course. So here they played a very modern line in that time, the so-called Scheveningen variation for black, which is the the other possibility to play for black. I mean, with knight c6 first and then d6. The difference for the normal Scheveningen line is with knight f6 instead of knight c6.
Yes.
With knight f6 d6, that allows white to play the very dangerous keras attack with g4. Like this here is not possible anyway because I mean it's possible, but it's not so dangerous because you don't threaten immediately g4 g5 against the knight.
Okay.
This is the difference, you see.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but anyway, it was interesting because Geller, together with Karpov, played usually this line for white all the time, and Kasparov played, of course, from time to time Sicilian with black. So, okay, it will be very interesting. So now they come back to the normal line from Scheveningen, of course. And now castle, bishop e7, bishop e3, castle f4. Well, normal line. So here, as long as we know, we show already some games from Larsen and so on, where black continues with a6, bishop d7, queen c7, and so on, many lines possible for black.
Yeah.
So here, Kasparov tried immediately e5, which is a normal move also. E5 is sharp enough, and usually black gets equality, I mean, an even game. If both players play the best moves, usually it's some even game finally, So it happened in the game also. Also now he took immediately in f4, of course. Now he took with the bishop. And here bishop e6. Black wants to play immediately d5 if is possible,
To get rid of this
yeah, to
weak
get.
pawn.
I mean, if is the Isolani from d6, if he can play d5, usually is even game, in good conditions. Now white is waiting to see what happens because he doesn't want to take immediately in d5. That is the idea, So king h1 and now d5 and after d5 e5, of course. Okay, so now black plays knight d7. Okay, he gives the pawn from d5 but takes the pawn from e5. So more or less an
Equality.
even game, you see. So he took in d5, he took in e5, and now white has to decide what to do. If he took immediately in e7, it's probably more or less even the game, I mean, it's very difficult to see how white can lose such a position, But everything is possible. At this high level, everything is possible. So c4 is a little bit more ambitious, White wants to play. Okay, he wants to play. Now we'll see what happens. Bishop g5 also, excellent move. So now, if he goes back to g3, bishop h4, even game again, No. So, all right. See, he continues. Knight c5, that shows that white is willing to continue to play, you see.
So to raise the pressure.
So, yeah, okay. So now black took there, he took with the rook. And now b6 also. Now forces again a decision what to do. If he takes in e6, black has already a very good game because has an excellent knight on e5, that controls everything. The knight from e5 controls everything. That gives a good game for black. I mean, for instance, now if he takes in e6, takes back, rook takes f8 check, queen takes f8. And now black is okay. Black is a little bit better because of that fantastic knight from e5, Okay, but okay, white plays normal again, knight e4, and here, black could play for equality knight g6, but now Kasparov wants himself also a little bit more. And he tries to, to take the initiative, if possible, very quickly. So now he played a very interesting move, b5. So now we see if white takes, he's not careful and takes in b5, is already bad for white, you see. So c takes b5, bishop takes d5, b takes c6, and now surprising move, knight g6, and white loses something. The rook and the knight are both attacked, so white loses material here. Yeah. So white again has to be careful, So putting back the position, now the good move is b3. All right. So after b3, he took in c4. Now he took back with the bishop. Again, if he took with the pawn after queen a5, it's more or less, complicated, but good for black also, Again, because of this fantastic knight from e5, that controls everything, is very good defender there, So, he took with the bishop, king kj. Now, white, it seems that black waits a little bit, but in reality, he wants to see what is the plan of his opponent, If white wants too much, if he wants to play here, then he has to force. And if he has to force, he has to play like in their game. But like in their game is, is not so good. Because here, probably it's enough to have an even game. If he plays back the knight from e4 to c3, then it's okay. It's even game, But the way he played is very risky, So probably Geller was thinking that has very strong attack here. I was also playing in that super tournament in Moscow in 81. And I was very near of their game, so I was observing together with other grandmasters. And it was most interesting because he gave a piece here, If the sacrifice is correct, then white has very good chances to win.
So you witnessed...
everybody was following to see what happens, because it was very interesting at this very high level. But it seems that, it's sure that the sacrifice is not correct. That is the problem, no? So now he took in d5.
Okay.
And here they have already the first position, but the first possibility to go wrong or play something else. Instead of taking there,
yes,
the alternative was after bishop takes d5, rook d1. And it seems okay. He can take somehow the piece back, and white has the initiative. But it's bad for white because now after g6, he has to move the queen, only h6 to do something,
Yeah.
Now black can sacrifice the queen for many pieces and takes completely the initiative. Now bishop takes e4. Now everything is forced. Now we have to take the queen. Now rook takes in d8. Now black has 3 pieces.
Yeah.
For the queen. Now he has to be careful because he wants to give mate. You have to play h3 probably, to avoid mate. And now f5. And the result is there. No attacking chances anymore. And black has a very good chance to win, here. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, So that was he commented the game, Garry himself, afterwards. They analyzed together and so on.
Okay.
So therefore, it seemed that rook d1 was not enough. So therefore, he took back, and he played rook h4. Now, he threatens mate, of course.
Yeah.
But here he played h6, the only move, but it's enough, Now what to do with white? Rook d1, and now he moves the queen. And it was the only moment where black could go wrong. Queen e6 was bad, Queen e6 was bad because of rook d6. White comes with tempo and has very strong attack, decisive attack probably, because he wants to take in a6 mate,
Yeah, yeah.
So of course, queen e6 is very bad mistake. So queen a5 is okay. So now, again, he tries to, to go away with the queen now after before. Now he took him before. And here what to do? Now, knight f6. I mean, he wants to, to do something. And the alternative here was, instead of knight f6, or even before, here, instead of before, he could play queen g5. Queen g5 threatens to, instead of before.
Yes.
Queen g5. I mean, if he plays something else and he allows rook takes h6, it's already very dangerous for black. But he has a very strong move now, f6. And after f6, what to do? You have to give the rook.
Maybe.
Yeah, to have a chance to make draw somehow, but it's not enough. Because he can take now, and you take, and king g8, and okay. It's no mate.
It's a draw.
No, it's not a draw, because he has no draw. I mean, if he takes now in f6, he gives the rook and he has two pieces, and he wins, of course. No? So, all right, that was the alternative. So instead, he played before, black took in before, knight f6. Now, well, it seems that still white has something, a little bit, but it's not enough, So now he goes back with the queen in e7. And after rook f1, again, the only move, rook fd8, and look this. White has every piece against the king, but he can't do anything, and white resigned.
Yes.
It's no mate, it's not enough to give, perpetual or something, and okay, he resigned. But it's unbelievable, I mean, by this very high level, I think he had a blackout or something, Geller.
When he did the sacrifice?
When he sacrificed the piece, thinking that probably has a very strong attack. But okay, black played very, very well, and nothing happened, you see. And as usual in the Sicilian, I told you, if black survives somehow, the attacking chances from the opponent, he wins, Well, this was the case here. And therefore, the game was very interesting. First of all, because Kasparov played the Sicilian, and second, because against a very strong player like Geller, he was very calm, and finally, the black counterattack was decisive.
Yeah.
Very interesting game.
Yes. Thank you, Mr.
You are